live and in living color.
Well, we you could be black and white for all we know. Again, you don't have a webcam right now,
which is quite shameful, if we're being entirely honest.
I am.
Though I do have to admit some of our own shame, and that is in the email and messages. I said you would be the first guest. I was wrong. We had a guest just be like, we're like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? And they're like, sure, we're free tomorrow.
Okay.
So
and we can say by the time this is posted anywhere, it was the role playing degenerates.
Gotcha. Yes, if you're familiar with them.
I am terrible with names, so I recognize a TikTok face and a thumbnail, but not a name.
That's fair. It's like a trio of people. They're like, usually one of them's like in a military outfit. He's got glasses. His name's Chris. He wasn't able to join us for the interview, but
well,
you know, they were lovely, but. We're not here to talk about them.
No.
I mean, we can shit talk them.
You know, it's a free and fair game. I see we're off the deception right after the start, and I'm being lied to before we've even started anything. That's okay. No big deal. Show business and all that. I get it.
It do be like that. I would apologize, but I'm not very sorry. So
chaotic neutral. We're good.
You know.
So I guess what for. Not us, because of course we've known you since you know, we've watched your videos and chatted with you via, so we know you personally and deeply. But exactly. For the podcast audience,
so deep.
But for the podcast audience, who are you? What is your favorite color?
Well, I am Ralpho Snailfood on TikTok at big.velvet. I believe I get a lot of usernames. It's hard to keep track. I do goofy little skits on TikTok in between long stretches of doing nothing during my graveyard shift at my office job as a call center CSR, customer service representative, but that's not fun. My favorite color is purple. Second favorite color, it'd be yellow. Weird combination, I know, but I don't know. Yellow. It gets...
Aren't those the Minnesota Vikings colors?
I think so.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I think so. I'm not a big football guy anymore.
I think it's more like a gold yellow, but still.
Well, that's why I like yellow as an alternate, because you have your range from like gold to, you could almost kind of say like amber. Like I kind of fit a lot under the umbrella. It's not too bad. It's the Fear Lantern core for DC Comics to be to go level 2 nerd to dip down one step. But yeah, I just make goofy little videos on TikTok, like I said. We already did the favorite color. I have been doing tabletop gaming for 8 years, I want to say. I feel like that's right. Just about 8 years. Yeah, I mean...
That is a good
it's not too bad. The two guys that I play with, they have been... One of them's been gaming since at least the 90s, if not like the early 2000s. And then I think the other guy's been gaming not too much longer after that. So, and they got me into it, so that's a lot of my experience came from a fairly old school group of players. Hi, Sam. Hi, Dale. Sam and Dale, sorry. Sam and Connor. And not you guys. Not you guys. You're not Dale. You're not brothers. You're not Dale. You're not Frank.
Not yes. Dale. Decidedly not.
But yeah. So yeah, I've been playing for 8. Been DMing for, I want to say, like actually like running games for those guys. Probably like 4 years or so. I don't have too much experience outside of my little group, IRL as the kids call it. Yes, I played.
So these two guys, the only two guys?
No, actually, I did play an online game, a pickup game, if you will, through a Facebook group that did not go so great. Like, as far as first-time experiences go, I'm sure it was fairly run-of-the-mill, but in terms of, like, wanting a, productive, like, but fun, entertaining D&D session or sessions, it was not really a well for that kind of content. The there was it's just a classic tales of people not jiving with each other and outside feelings about things jumping into a group, and then I'm like coming into a group that's already established and it's online, so I'm already like not the third wheel, but like the eighth wheel. It wasn't too great.
Yeah, eighth wheeling is not the best.
No.
For sure. I will say, I personally am struggling to come up with questions to ask simply because I don't know. Should we address you as Ralpho Snail Food? Should we address you as Big Velvet?
Mr. Velvet, perhaps.
Or Daddy Velvet, if you would prefer that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, Ralph or Ralpho Snail Food, whatever, that Ralph, spoiler, it's actually my name. Yeah, I know.
I thought it was Snail Food.
I would have guessed it.
That's
Sure.
PG-13. But, yeah, so please, Ralpho Snail Food, probably Ralph would be easier, I would assume. Doctor, actually, that is my middle name, so it's not a title. Just skip
Ralpho Doctor Snail Food.
Yes.
I think I'm just going to call you Daddy Snail Food.
Sure. Let's do it. I'm into it.
I not to be confused with Papa Lycan, who is our father.
Gotcha.
He doesn't know that, by the way.
He doesn't know that yet, but he is our father, and I don't want people to confuse the daddy with the father. And the
It might get a little confusing, actually. Yeah. Go switch up
the lines blur quite a
designations.
bit, for
Right.
sure. Now, you didn't start out as a D&D TikToker on the TikTok.
No,
did you?
I did not. I made a TikTok in 2020, I think it was. It's a weird time in the last couple of years.
As many of us did.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And because I worked at a GameStop that was getting shut down, and I had worked there for about 7 years prior to the actual shutdown. I was the assistant manager at the location. And to kill time and kind of eat my feelings without actually eating anything or consuming calories, I consumed internet content through TikTok. And it was pretty good. Made a couple videos. Not very, I'm still trying to figure out the ins and outs and the etiquette, I guess, as it were. Finding the niche, or people call it.
The niche.
Yes, the niche.
Kind of,
so I did a lot of
Your little corner of the internet.
I did a lot of just kind of random. Oh, I think this is funny. Let's do that. Did some I played guitar on some videos. Just kind of whatever. Till I figured out having a better camera, having a specific upload schedule, having tags that you want to go with, a specific amount of videos that you want to have uploaded during that schedule. Consistently hitting all of those marks over and over again, and then finding an actual target audience. And ended up actually, working a little bit better. And I like D&D, so, why not?
I mean,
That's
literally
why
the
we're
reason
here.
we're
Ostensibly,
talking
this
here
is a D&D podcast, so.
That's my fucking man. He knows the lore.
He knows the lore.
He's up on the lore.
I've been reading.
And this way, people who play the drinking game that we've only heard about from our non-alcoholic friend can get in some rounds here.
There you go.
Oh, God.
So obviously you've kind of made it big. That I maybe went back through and looked at a lot of your older videos. And man, you were in some weird ones like Riddler talk.
Yeah. I made just. I get wild hairs that travel across places and then just kind of do stuff for a little while until the enthusiasm and the drive to see it through kind of pedals out and then it stops. This is the longest I've ever actually stuck with something. I think there's a clinical term for that. I don't know what it is, but so I wrote every day on my Facebook for my real life friends came up with riddles. I'd do 3 a day, and I did that every day for a year, and then I'd post one so that way I had a couple more in case I wanted to take a day off. And I have a whole notes file on my phone of 100, 200 some riddles, something like that not very good, but I just came up with it because why not? Like to try, yeah. That I said, well, me trying to be funny on the internet's not working out. Let's see if this works, And so I did like 4 or 5 of them. I don't know how many I got through, but it is a very small number in comparison to what I actually have written down, like in that notes file. Like it's a little excessive.
You could always spin that, you like now take your place now that you have you're firmly rooted into the D&D talk, because you have what 22,000 followers.
I think 22.3 is what 22.4 is what TikTok's telling me. Yeah.
That is a good number.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one.
Not a bad number by any means. Now, do you think you could parlay this experience with riddles and creating like riddles for D&D, like puzzle things that like a 4-year-old could solve?
I'm sure.
And then let adult human beings
try
struggle
to take care of it. I'm sure if I applied enough brain power, I could come up with a riddle that made sense from like a couple of different angles. Because like the problem, at least for me, with having no experience and never doing it before, and just I'm going to try this today, is I'd have the answer already in my head, and then try to come up with like 4 or 5 sentences that ended in a rhyme. Like the AABB or ABAB rhyme. So however standard riddle format goes, and hope that there was enough people that would try to guess that they would, enough of them would get the right answer that I could feel validated about the way that I did it, and so that it was like, it made sense. But I don't know if I'd be able to put together. I mean, D&D riddles, by and large, are pretty easy and pretty not complicated. And we struggle really, really hard trying to figure those out in the heat of the moment. So I think it'd have to be like a very specific recipe. I'd have to find the formula, have to boil it down, get a couple cookbooks, go through some pages, borrow what was best.
You're cooking the pages?
Some delicious page stew?
Let's see. Pages. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not soup. Speaking of, I just had 2 quick things here, real quick. Real quick. The whole I remember cereal. Is that a soup? There being some contention over cereal as a soup. Hot dog is a sandwich, and then some strange business about it belonging in the like sandwich section of menus.
Yeah,
I had a whole. I was listening to that while I in preparation for coming on. I wanted to listen to a lot of content as well. Go back and check any podcasts and stuff. And I had.
Get us to
exactly. Spread the love.
Oh.
And I had a whole conversation with the podcast just while I was playing Spider-Man, just talking back and forth with this podcast. Just presenting some. I don't know why. I don't know. It just happened. I took no notes. I can say I did Google it because I just got frustrated. Sandwiches, specifically 2 pieces of bread together with meat in between, sometimes cheese. Hot dog bun is 1 piece of bread. Granted, you could break it in half. That then creates 2 pieces of bread. But at that point,
connected in the same way as like a hoagie or a submarine style sandwich.
But at that point, the name of the dish is the name of the hot dog is the star of that show. It's not the bun. If the bun was what was important, I think it would probably be called a sandwich because it's a roast beef sandwich, but it's still a sandwich. Hot dog is just a hot dog.
Now, by that logic, would the BLT not be considered a sandwich? Or the Cuban? Or the grilled cheese?
I think it's about the implication in that instance. You're just leaving off the word sandwich for convenience to... it's not a hot dog sandwich. I don't know, but grilled cheese sandwich and hot dog sandwich... One of these 2 is not like the other. That's all I'm saying.
So what if you took the hot dog bun, the humble hot dog bun, and just put a slice or 2 of American cheese in there, and then grilled it like a grilled cheese, what do you then have?
You then have melted.
cheese
You have
cube?
melted cheese on a hot dog. Pressed
You know
in
what you have? You have a
Ugh.
sandwich. You have a sandwich.
But if you don't remove, what if you don't what if you don't rip the bread?
we
Exactly right. This is why I was like, I gotta temper this, because I was ready to come in super hot like a week ago, and I'm like, no, I gotta come down. So
we'll happily have you on for an hour to debate the logistics of
food
foods
physics.
again.
Hey, if anyone who has seen my videos has seen the Le Gut, I am a fan of food. I've dealt with it. I got a +3 food lore, whatever,
Nice.
+3 to all roles involving
All
evil.
roles involving junk. Yep.
That's amazing. That was so unexpected. That was wonderful. Great. That's a great time. Also, brought the first thing you brought up was the cereal.
Oh yes,
soup.
yeah. See, again, same thing. Now, I didn't. Once again,
There are cold soups.
There
I
are
wanna
cold
point out,
soups.
There are soups designed to be consumed cold.
Specifically, the gazpacho was brought up on the show. And once again, I'm not Googling it right now. I feel like that might be poor form. I don't know if that's allowed, but
I mean, we can't see you, so you can.
You could.
I
you
mean,
can lie to
okay,
us all
so
you want.
I'm totally not. I don't know if anyone can hear my keyboard clacking, because I am not looking up anything on the internet right now. However,
It makes it great because we absolutely.
yes. See, as I understand, and as the internet tells me, soup is a liquid food made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables in water. It references not the temperature with which it is served, and you don't boil cereal. So
I mean, not the way you.
that's fair. That's fair. You have to account for different methods of insertion, I suppose. But even so, I don't know if I believe it.
Oh, Insertion. Oh, why are you like this? We bring nice people on the podcast.
And he talks about insertion.
Talk about
I
insertion.
mean,
You lie to me. It's a whole thing.
we're just laying it all out there. He comes in hot, wanting to challenge us on our food takes.
Except we challenge each other on the food take, so I don't remember whose side he's on right now.
I am, the Fire Nation, I think. I'm just coming in. I'm just taking it over.
Oh.
I got no allies. I got no friends.
I mean, that's
Literally. Hot takes, coming in hot.
Literally, yeah,
burning.
literally, yeah.
Just like the soup, which is not cereal. Yeah. Another contentious thing too. Not you, Jenna. I don't believe you guys said it. Coffee as a soup? No, that's stupid. Get out of here. There's no. It's not a soup.
Coffee's a broth.
If anything, it's a broth. Absolutely.
I would argue tea is a broth as well.
Or maybe broth is
broth is
Tea,
tea.
yeah. That's true. I guess you'd have to figure out what came
Now
first.
I need to make note of that.
The broth or steeped beverages.
So, based on the order that we release, like when we release these things, we may be talking about this subject on a podcast before your episode.
I was gonna
goes
say,
out.
do you want to? Are we gonna like set
I
it up
think
so
we're-
that's our bullshit at the beginning? Is coffee a tea or a broth?
Yes.
And then be like,
Yes.
oh, also we interviewed Big Velvet. Gonna just throw this chunk of audio in.
The best part about this is that this conversation is going to be happening after this conversation right now is coming out the week after that podcast will go
We'll be
out.
creating a time paradox. It'll be just like the audio on TikTok.
Basically, we are nothing if not willing to break the
Reality.
space-time continuum.
Yeah. Let's break it. Let's do it. I don't have any
right.
plans for the session,
Cool.
so let's go for it.
So you have to tell me what I would have done in the past when you came from the future.
You would have agreed that that a hot dog is not a sandwich had I come from the year 3042, where menus don't exist, and hot dogs are actually, they removed the tube, and it's just what like they make into hot dogs. That is then served in a bucket.
So the meat like
Yes.
sludge that gets
Yes.
tubified.
Yes. There's a bucket. There's a leather strap. It goes on one's head, and then there's no question about whether it's a sandwich or not, because there's no bread involved. It's a dark time.
It's
It's
just
just, I guess, yeah.
That's like some dystopian fucking
Soylent
like,
Green is hot
Snowpiercer
dogs.
shit.
Right,
Brave
right.
New Now that we've firmly gone through the sidebar into another sidebar into another sidebar, let's bring us back.
bring it
Ostensibly.
back. Back to reality.
Let's grab
Oh,
it.
there goes Rabbity. Oh, yes. So we were talking. You were on Riddler talk for a while, and now you're on D&D talk. Is D&D talk maybe where you want to be? You know, what do you want to do now that you have a following?
Or is this going to go the way of guitar talk, riddle talk, retail worker talk, and you're just going to abandon us as you have abandoned so many other things?
I think my commitment to a community and people is a eternal struggle within my heart, and having me commit to a position here on this podcast might be a little tough, but I will try to get through it. Okay, good. It's good talking to you guys. Catch you later then. No, I think that, I mean, you know, aside from the fact that obviously, you know, we like D&D, we're here. Like, I feel like that kind of goes unsaid. You know, it seems like a weird preface.
Really like food,
Well, true. I don't know I'm going to end up on food talk, though. I feel like that might be, I'd have to try and wish to attempt to have a tenth of the size of Gordon Ramsay's audience, and then argue with him about whether a hot dog's a sandwich or not, and that's not.
It's definitely a very contentious talk.
It's
yes.
It parallels between other controversial and contentious talks in the D&D sphere. It's everyone's got their own battles. But no, I don't. I think I enjoy doing the D&D videos as I enjoy D&D and tabletop in general. So I don't see a reason to, like, you know, yes, I enjoy riddles, but I don't, you know, gather once a week or 3 times a week to do some sort of, you know, riddle competition every so often.
I mean, well, first of all, trying to sneak in that little humble brag about playing D&D weekly, you can go fuck yourself, sir.
You know, it's some of us are fortunate, but yes. So I don't. And like, playing guitar is fun again, but it's not. It's not. I've played games, whether tabletop or video games. Obviously, I mean, you know, it's a nerd thing for years, so there's no real leaving that, unhitching that wagon. It's on the train. It's coming with me. Yeah. Plus, I kind of blew up, so it's almost like I kind of owe it to the people who watch my videos to, like, continue to give them something to watch, because they help me out. I'm gonna help them out. I might as well. It's beneficial to both of us. They get a chuckle, hopefully, or a sneer. I'll take hate watchers. I don't mind.
A sharp exhale of air from the nose in a slightly positive manner.
Yeah, it's like the noise dogs make when you get on their nerves and you gotta, like, wrestle, and they just kind of, like, huff and puff. Yeah, that. Yeah, that's just that. It's just like the slightest of a smirk. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's good. Now, I want to say, if it does not become enjoyable, don't make it a chore.
Oh yeah, sure.
That is That's one of the rules we made when we started doing TikToks, particularly when we hit 10K, and we're like, oh, this is like a thing that we can do for real. If it is no longer fun, gotta take a break, gotta step back.
Yeah.
Who was it? Professor D&D?
Yeah, Professor D&D took a step back for a while.
For several months left.
Yeah, he was working on a
if
book
it ever becomes
too,
a chore
I think,
or
so
something you don't like.
probably got some time to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't. I hate the idea of the soulless lich that it's all I get at. It's just I need number go up. Ha 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 ha. Like I don't. It's not. I'm not about that. And you kind of get. By virtue of me not being very good with names, that helps. But there are like some accounts that you see, not necessarily D&D sphere, because like they follow other things. This isn't all that I enjoy. And you definitely get like it's just a video being made to make the video because it's time to make the video. And there are some weeks, when I don't, because I try to upload according to, I guess, doxing myself a tiny bit, I guess, according to when I'm working, since that's when I make the videos. That's when the uploads go up. I used to do, like, for sure, I was, especially on, like, the original uptick after one of my first ones that blew up, I was like, I'm going to be making, because I'm putting something into this, I'm going to do this, I'm committing now. And I do 3 videos a night, 4 nights a week, and then alternate 3 nights a week. And I film them right then, too. I didn't do, like, any drafts or anything, because there's nothing going on. I got 10 hours of just sitting and watching and waiting for a phone to ring. So let's film. It's fun. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. But now, definitely, as we're over a year after I started doing this, and within, I'd say, I don't know exactly, but for sure at least, I'd say 6-7 months of me doing it like consistently, every week. There are definitely some days when I come in like right after a long weekend where it's like, I'm just not gonna dance around and be a goofball and get all crazy. I can't come up with a good set of captions, or it's just something's not clicking, and I just don't.
There are plenty of times. There are plenty of times where we're like, all right, because his schedule is kind of crazy. Mine's we oftentimes film on my lunch, so we'll like sit down, we'll go through our TikToks, we'll make 2 and be like,
just not feeling it.
Yeah, we're trying to make a week's worth, but it's just like, oh, we'll try again on 2 days. Okay, we have time in 3 days. We'll try again. But yeah, we get that.
It's a struggle sometimes.
And I think another, at least a big thing. One of the difficult things about it for me anyway is trying to find good sounds, because like you got to find the good mix between like a funny, applicable, hi, I can do something with that audio, but then you want to make sure it's on some kind of uptick. You're at least seeing it a handful of times, maybe not even just on your For You page, just like on the regular, For You page, because there's following and then For You. So on the For You page, you want to see it a couple times first. Then you got to make sure it's somewhere in a balance of popular and good, something you can utilize. And it can be really tough. And you could go on like 3 or 4 days on my days off. I'll just scroll TikTok for 3 days straight looking for something, some kind of funny something, and then not find anything until that night at work when I go back to work, and it's like, oh, thank God, now I can actually make a video, and then it's funny, and back into it again. So yeah.
So I will say a lot of the sounds you use, I'm not familiar with. Where do you get most of your sounds? Do you see them from other like you were saying, avenues of TikTok, or
our For You page is just very different.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everybody's is, just by nature and virtue of TikTok being what it is. But yeah, there's like one account that I follow. It's Pebas, Pebas, something like that. I'll have to look them up here in a second just to double check. They do a lot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia TikToks, Dragon Age inspired Fallout. I think they're the ones that do the Dragon Age Fallout New Vegas inspired TikTok videos that I then take sounds from. I drop a like on the video, of course, and I follow them. So I gotta share the love where we can. I don't want to be a mega dick. Is it okay to say bad? I think we said bad words already on here. Is that okay?
They mega dick?
We said.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So I had like a panic moment where I was like, oh no, am I gonna get us banned?
You've listened to the podcast.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It's live, pre-recording. I don't know if it's special.
Oh, this is all being recorded.
We do have a list of words that Connor is not allowed to say, even though they're not bad words.
Gotcha.
We're gonna write that down eventually. And
I was going to say, don't tell me what they are. Don't tell me what they are, because I can't hear them.
Never. I never, anytime there's a recording device on, the words are locked up. But sometimes we're playing Apex.
Things just happen.
It gets frustrating.
just flies
just
out.
happens. None of them are actual slurs. None of them are
Right,
actually
right.
bad, but they sound
There's
like they should
enough
be.
weight.
And those are the best kinds.
Right. Exactly. I hear you.
Examples like Fuddrucker. Where
Fuddrucker,
That's
yeah.
that's a restaurant, but it sounds
Could
dirty.
be.
Or
could be
the
bad.
ooh.
Could be problematic.
I'm not going to say the
There's a recording device.
But yeah, anyway, the sounds. Yeah, that one It's Always Sunny account. They always post amazing stuff. I love their sounds. And then there's a Blacklist account that posts clips of the character Raymond Reddington. James Spader is the actor. Some of his lines from the show. Although I had to stop following. Well, not following. I still follow the account, but I just have to like scroll past any of their TikToks because there's a lot of stuff from season 9, and I can't watch season 9 yet because it's not on Netflix. I got to sign up for Paramount, Peacock, some streaming service, a new one, and I don't really want to do that, so I can't. But
that's fair.
yeah,
That's very
I gotta
fair.
avoid all those
fair.
sounds. And then official accounts like I follow like WWE on there, HBO Max. There's some stuff from like Sopranos was one that I did one time. I had like a WWE sound that kind of blew up. And then just a lot of J random. Just that sounds good. Steal that. That sounds good. Take that. Or steal.
So you are a wrestling fan.
Yeah. Well, okay, hold on. So I was a real big wrestling fan when I was much younger. But
Yeah.
right,
we all
not
are.
having actual TV, it makes it like because you can watch I think Raw and SmackDown on Hulu the day after they go up. But at that, I'm not. I gotta be there. I gotta be watching it. I'm playing on the PC or I'm playing on my PlayStation or something like that. I'm not just like, let's watch a show. I do that at work for 10 hours,
fair.
so like I don't do that much at home. But yes, I do enjoy a headlock. Bulldog, basement drop kick here and there, superplex off the top.
From time to time.
Right.
As we all do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, again, we keep getting into the side.
Yeah, right.
We'll
it back.
I'll rein
Reel it
ourselves back in. Sam and I. You were very responsive to the people in your comments, quite a bit. Particularly people that are commenting negative things. There was a string of videos that you made.
Yeah.
Basically, what was it? Blowing raspberries?
I don't know. What you have to say?
Yeah.
Right.
To people just kind of like trying to shit on everyone's fun.
Well, I would like to say though, to speak to, I think it was Jinja Dude Bro, I think was the username. To their credit, and to my credit and credit of humanity all around, we ended up everything was good at the end of that train. We made we're friends. There was no, I guess they weren't trying to be rude. I guess it's kind of a matching energy, I suppose, on my end. Plus, like I had mentioned, I didn't have anything witty to say at the time, so just shaking my head and being ridiculous was the joke and the punchline for all 7 videos. That was enough of the work there. But yeah, so just to their credit, I'd like to put that caveat out there because I said that I wasn't a fan of like explicit toxicity, like actually being mean, like we're just nerds being nerdy about stuff. It's one thing, but like actually being volatile and hurtful towards other people, I definitely don't support in any way or condone, at all.
Of course.
Yeah. So. Kind of along that lines, like, how do you see that negativity coming through in the nerd community? Do you think it's gotten? We've asked this question to the role playing generous. We're gonna ask it to probably everybody. Do you think you see all the popularity of D&D, be it TikTok, shows like Critical Role or Dimension 20, where it's suddenly becoming more popular? How do you feel that that's been affecting the community?
Well, So it's primarily it's affecting the community, just making it bigger. There's going to be more people joining, I guess, by nature of it becoming more mainstream. Which, that's not intrinsically a bad thing. It could be bad, it could be good. It just kind of depends on how you want to classify it. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with more people joining in on the fun. The more people having fun is the better. And I think that is a pretty solid through line, or what's it called? Some kind of, it's like not a temperature test, a litmus test, not a litmus test. It's a good litmus test,
Yes.
For what the what any one thing you're going to do or how you're going to engage with somebody else. Like if you're not, if you're not ruining anybody's fun and everybody's maximizing their fun that they're having, as a general rule, that's pretty much okay. And the more people that are there, the more opportunities you have to do that. Within reason, of course. If I have fun making fun of everyone else and crushing their hopes and dreams and being a railroady DM, I don't, or the kind of player that steals from their party because it's what my character would do in SpongeBob quotes. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a good idea. And I think if your fun comes at the expense of, causing other people harm, or obviously I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to come out and say I'm pro harm. But I think as long as everybody's...
I'm pro harm to specific people, specifically Sam.
Okay. Yes. I mean, you're not brothers, so you can get away with it. It's not illegal for you to do that. I guess being brothers doesn't have bearing on that, though. So,
I feel like us being brothers would protect me more because we're family, and then
true.
Then mom would.
True, there'd be more people who would know where you would be at to come after you. But yeah, the sidebar again is a whole lot of side gaming.
It's a lot of our fault as well. It's fine.
Yeah, the community. I think there's nothing wrong with things becoming more mainstream. It exclusively becomes a problem when folks start the gatekeeping, and I know people say that a lot, and it tends to mean a lot of things, and not actually what it might actually mean, but or at least what I think it might actually mean. But yeah, there's we could be adults for the most part. We can be adults and still be kids and have fun.
What do you think it actually means?
So I would say that gatekeeping something, you're presenting your authority on whatever you're gatekeeping as the barrier to entry. That if someone doesn't surpass your expectation of whatever a specific, like one that I'll see a lot is being one like Twitter. Superman's gotta be one way or another, like the Zack Snyder Justice League eternal war of Superman as a gloomy anti-hero or Superman as like a really happy good guy, and like someone might be gatekeeping is like, well, I've read comics since the 1970s and I've known Superman only as so unless you've read comics for that long you don't have an opinion. And I feel like I think that's gatekeeping, and I think doing that in regards to like D&D stuff, there's many ways you can do it, and I don't think that's good. I don't think we should do that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we around here are big proponents of the best way to play is the way you like to play.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Which is also how we drink whiskey.
That is also how we drink.
That's not bad
as well.
It's a good way to go.
Pregnant pause.
It's for effect.
So yeah, I think the hot dog sandwich scenario is a contemptuous one.
Yeah, of course.
I will say.
Now, do you feel like would you feel like you would gatekeep people from the hot dog if they were looking for sandwich adjacent foods?
I think if they're looking for... So I would need to be in a position where I'd be the one dispensing... Well, no, not necessarily, because, like, jerks on Twitter aren't dispensing D&D for people, even though they can be like, I'd have to be the one gatekeeping the hot, like, you can't get this hot dog until you call it a hot dog. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd have to see where I'm at in the situation. That's definitely an RP at the table moment. I would.
Well, speaking of RP at the table, how do you prefer to play D&D? Do you prefer to be a player, a dungeon master?
Combat, role
I think everybody wants to play and not know what's going on. Well, most people, I think, want to play and not know the story hooks and not know the things that are coming up, because then you can get surprised and you can have genuine, reactions to specific moments and things that elicit whatever. I enjoy the bit of DMing that I do with my group. I enjoy that. I failed my concentration check.
Trying so hard not to derail it.
I really like that because my players, the two guys that I play with, they're the group that I played with, and while they played with many other groups before, I think since I've been playing with them, I'm part, like, we're the only group that we have at this point, I think. I could be wrong. Well, no, because one of them played with some other friends a few years ago, so they did do that. But for the most part, we're all each other. So where the DM to player relationship at my table is a little bit more fluid, and that we're all, like, the DM is the DM and they make the final decisions and things like that. But it's much more of a collaborative experience because we've been doing it together for so long. We're much better at collaborating and compromising and working together. So I'm very fortunate in that aspect.
So does your DM, when you're playing, or you, whoever's DMing, when you say collaborative, is it just in the storytelling aspect, or are you getting players involved with the actual creating of a world or a city or a scenario?
Yeah, for me, if I'm DMing, I want as much involvement in the thing. My big philosophy about DMing is to do as little work as possible, because I don't like homework. I never liked homework. I'm not a fan of that. Writing down things for hours, typing down things for hours, even to a degree reading a lot, and you could probably tell because I have horrible vocabulary, reading a lot on hour after hour after hour, hours and hours on end. I'm not a big fan of that. So if players work together with me to come up with not only, their name and their background, but like 3 NPCs that they would have met, and the place that they lived, and what it is that their parents did. Did they have parents? Who met them? It's like all of the random life generator tables out of the back. I love all of that stuff. Like, come up with as much of what you want as you can, then work with me on that, and that way I have way less work to do. I now just have named NPCs to just drop into a story, as opposed to coming up with another dwarven name that isn't Braun or something, with another Scottish accent again.
Now, I saw a video on TikTok recently of the character creation idea of the web of NPCs, where every character creates 2 NPCs that they are tied to that are both alive, and then each player would then select 2 or 3 NPCs that other people made and give them a connection to themselves to create like this web of interconnecting people, and then the DM murders them all.
That's George R.R. Martin's it, right?
I mean, yeah. Unless you're one of the main characters, in which case,
you get to live, and then I get to kill you with that character later on anyway. So then it's
exactly.
Those are the one of 2 choices for any NPC. I think I might have actually seen that. I think I saw that. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I think it's certainly having tools to, again, doing as little work as possible, setting up a couple lines for yourself to color within. It works out. It funnels just enough of like I want to create something, and I got some idea for a character and a lifestyle, and like I want to be a bow guy, and I want to do sneak, and I want to be edgy, and why am I, it gives you some sort of filters to kind of bring it all in. And I really like that. I think that's a good idea. I don't think it should be... I wouldn't mandate, specifically you need 2 NPCs that are alive. I don't think, but I mean, that's just for the that's putting, walls down so that you could start something, and then, it might go somewhere else from there. Not obviously that's not a bad thing. Everybody, just put down what walls you want, and then see what a player can do, and then let them break the walls down on their own when they don't have enough room creating in that space anymore. It's so much better and so much more organic, in my opinion. So I'll do a lot of that with my table, and to an extent when they're DMing, I'll do that with them also. Like, I'll come up with a character, and then I'll have, my parents and something that they do, and maybe one of them's alive and one of them's dead. So then now, well, how did that happen? And if someone killed them, then I need, who was it? And then why did they do that? And did they do that because someone told them to? Or was it just an accident? Okay, well then who was there that, and you can just follow the trail, or the web, follow the trail until...
the web.
You get a complete experience.
Web of lies.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of the fleshed out RP. I'm much more of an RP kind of fan than not to say that combat's not good. I love slinging me some dice. We have one of the weekly things that we're doing. It's called Filth. Fuck it, let's fight. And as far as I know, one of my players who's running it came up with it. But it just put whoever into a game, try to stat them out, and then go for it. So I'm currently doing a level 20 barbarian monk fighter. That is his name is Roscoe P. Toscobble. He is a halfling monk barbarian fighter who is beating people down.
How are those monk fighter? I get barbarian fighter. I get. How do the barbarian and the monk play together well?
It's just basically having to at least the way I was doing it. It's level 20, so I can just pick what I want in terms of levels. I think I went 11 or 12 levels of barbarian, 6 levels of monk, and then 2 for fighter, so I can get the fighting style and my action surge and everything. It's pretty solid. I had to focus. You have to pay attention to your strength, your dex, and then I think wisdom for monk, and then kind of constitution if you want a lot of health, because you're not wearing any armor. But I got to choose
2 methods to calculate unarmored
right.
defense,
I got to choose whichever was the highest of between the two. Whether it was, I think for barbarians it's your constitution, and then monks it's your either dex or wisdom. I can't remember.
So do your key point abilities, like your step of the wind, stunning strike, and stuff, is that able to trigger with regular barbarian attacks? Like rage doesn't conflict with that? I haven't really looked into
rage.
the
I
rules
believe
of that.
you can rage with any melee weapon that is strength based that doesn't have heavy or two-handed, and a quarterstaff does not have heavy two-handed or and it's a strength-based weapon. It's just got versatile, so you can two-hand the attack for that D10 damage, and then you can still barbarian rage with a quarterstaff. Then you get your free attacks with your unarmed, which I think there is. I think I went with Path of the. It was like an Arcana Unleashed, excuse me, that rolled off the tongue there. Path of the Giant, I think, where my. That's pretty fun too.
We're gushing about that on the podcast that is going to release this week as we're recording, or several podcasts ago as this goes live.
Nice. Yeah, it's fun. And then it really. So I was doing that, and then I was doing the monk is the way of the astral self, or I can't remember the name of the specific. So I got my 2 extra astral arms that are then giant sized when I rage, and then go from halfling to large sized character, and then I'm doing unarmed attacks with the astral arms, and then I'm thwacking with the quarterstaff with the rage. It's pretty solid. It's pretty dope. It's pretty cool.
That's fascinating.
That's a good time.
That's a combination I never would have thought.
Yeah, it's interesting. We tried to there's another with that particular person that's running that, where we also because I know you guys do like homebrew stuff on Drive-Thru RPG. we were doing the homebrew of that homebrew, where we just write it down on a piece of paper, and then he types it up on his 15-year-old laptop, and then we just have it for ourselves. Where we're doing a superhero variant of D&D. We're coming up with a couple classes of what a superpowered person and then a non-powered person and things like that. So we spent a lot of time breaking down individual mechanics. Don't ask me too many questions now. Of course, I don't know, off the top of my head. You got to get into the right headspace for that sort of creation, and I don't have that, on hand. But we're doing something similar with that, where we're looking at a lot of mechanics and how things combine and classes' abilities that can then translate to a contemporary superheroes format, but then still be D&D stuff. So it's pretty interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. Now, you said you've looked into our homebrew, and
I believe we sent him a free copy.
We did. Now, this will determine whether or not we ever have you back. What do you think of our Bloodmancy?
It was good talking to you guys. So one of those people in that TikTok that you called out that hadn't redeemed it yet was me, because I didn't know how I was getting it. And you said an email, and I'm like, all right, email. And then I realized I didn't know what I was looking for, or what I was waiting for, or what to see. So when you put that out and then showed, this is what it's called, this is where it's at, I actually went in and downloaded it and got everything right then. I am very interested in applying that, because one of the players he likes necromancers and the undead and ghouls and monsters and stuff. So I think Bloodmancy is going to be something that he'd probably be very interested in. So I will be. There's a little bit of an asterisk. I can come back only when I have a report to tell you about how that's going, because I will be applying it. I gotta get my guy Sam on board. The other Sam.
I'm on board.
Wrong. The better Sam.
Oh, you don't have to. You don't have to. His nickname is the Boy, so you can just call him the Boy. I think he's 48. So he's an old fart. His nickname is the
Boy. Like a fucking
yes.
Kratos.
His youthful exuberance extends far past his crickety old body, which is good.
Yes. Now, Daddy Velvet, this has been just a lovely time. Do you have any socials or anything you would like to pimp before we depart?
No, I want to be left alone. No one talk to me, except for at big.velvet on TikTok. That's really my only, because I was trying to get a Facebook page set up. Never got around to it. I tried to make one for the Riddles stuff a year ago, and it changed since when I started setting that up. So I never got back on it. I don't have a Twitter associated with my TikTok. I feel like that's just cheating, just reposting my TikToks. But I mean, it's.
Oh, you think it's cheating? I don't think it's cheating at all. Why would you think it's cheating?
Not cheating.
Instagram, it's not cheating on Instagram.
I guess. Well, no. I mean, you're right though. It's not cheating. I just need to do it then, I guess, and then I'll be happy with the results.
We just recently opened our Instagram account.
I 100% support dual uploads, as many uploads to any website that you can. Instagram, Twitter,
It's always interesting how he sounds like he changes his tune.
I've been singing the same tune, whistling it since I showed up, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course.
The tune has been deception.
Yeah, hey, I'm matching that energy. You lied to me about being the first guest. I did get the Bloodmancy, but I didn't, and I do like dual uploads, but I don't. That's how it goes.
It do be like that from time to time. Now. Thank you very much for joining us.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a great time. I hope I don't bomb the show, get you canceled, taken off the air.
If anybody is getting our show canceled by the public, it's going to be me.
Yes. Okay, as long as you take the blame, then I guess that's...
Don't you? Well,
our friend has a prediction of when we're going to get canceled and why, and it's definitely on.
Okay, yeah. All right. If there's a pool to get in on for those bets, let me know. Send me a link. I will drop 5 Doge on
our
it.
Our 5 Doge.
I don't know.
Oh wow, fucking
I don't
high
even
roller
know
over here.
if
My
that's
goodness.
actually- is that a
Okay.
thing?
Yeah, our people will contact your people. We'll get something hooked up. We'll get a contract.
Talk to
drawn
my
up.
sister Bethany.
Of course, of course. All right. Well, thank you very much. And that's all for this bonus episode of the Social Bros podcast with Big Daddy Velvet.
Hello, yes, thank you, and goodbye.